Hey everyone, Miss GoElectric here. Today I have Aventon's latest e-bike in front of me, the Level 2. Now, I've tested out 3 other Aventon e-bikes in their lineup, and I would definitely consider them a premium value-oriented e-bike manufacturer. This is the latest generation of their full-featured commuter style e-bike. I consider this a general purpose e-bike, and it has a price tag of under $2,000. With this latest generation, Aventon has included some new technology that makes the ride even smoother and even more efficient. So let's dive into the features and specifications and then take it out for a ride. When I received this order, the bike came in perfect condition and the box was well packaged as usual. Aventon does a nice job of providing clear documentation, instructional assembly videos, and the tools that you need in order to build the bike. Now, it took me about 30 minutes to assemble it fully, but keep in mind they do have a dealer network across the country, so if you don't want to assemble it yourself, they can provide that service for you. When you're looking at an Aventon model, it's not just one bike. There are 4 different frame options. So for example, on this Level 2, there's a step over and a step through design like you see here. There's also a small medium and a medium large frame. So if you're anywhere between 4'11" and 6'4", there's gonna be a frame size for you. This also supports a maximum payload of up to 300 pounds. And there are 4 different paint colors. The Level 2 frame is made out of aluminum, and this step-through version weighs 53 pounds. Now let's move on to power and range. This has a 500-watt continuous rear hub motor that peaks at 750 watts. When it comes to the battery, this is a 48-volt system with 14 amp hours, which is equivalent to 672 watt-hours. Aventon says that you can get up to 60 miles of range while pedaling and 30 miles while using the throttle only. As far as charging goes, this comes with a 3-amp charger and will charge within 4 to 5 hours. The Level 2 is shipped as a Class 2 e-bike, but you can unlock it to get up to Class 3, which will provide up to 28 miles per hour using the pedal assist modes. So that's the nuts and bolts of power and range, but the secret sauce to the Level 2 is Aventon's first implementation of a torque sensor. I've tested other Aventon e-bikes and they all have cadence sensors. A cadence sensor will try to detect when you're pedaling and how fast and give you power based on that. But they always are delayed, and that's something that I've talked about before in my reviews of their bikes. A torque sensor detects how hard you're pushing on the pedal and gives you power based on that. So it's more responsive, smoother, and more efficient. Most of my favorite e-bikes have a torque sensor, so I'm really excited to try it out on this Aventon. Now that we've talked about get up and go, let's talk about stopping power. This comes with name brand Tektro hydraulic brakes, and they're paired with 180mm rotors. These hybrid tires are 27.5 inches by 2.1 inches, and that should be plenty of rubber on the road, whether you're on a smooth surface like pavement or on gravel. I also appreciate that these tires have reflective sidewalls, and this bike also has 3 integrated tail lights, 2 off the rear of the frame here and 1 off of the fender. Now, speaking of integrated lights, this also has a front headlight. I really appreciate that Aventon includes this with the bike, as well as the fenders and the rear rack. Lastly, onto comfort. This saddle looks really familiar because I've tested it out on their other e-bikes. It's wide, it has a lot of foam in it, and it's gonna be really comfortable. Moving on to the front fork, this is a coil spring fork that has 65mm of travel. This should smooth out all the bumps in the road and make it a really comfortable ride. Now, as far as riding position goes, I don't know yet, but I can tell you I'm ready to ride this, so let's get out there and try it out. All right, I'm gonna start off this ride review as I always do with no assist on, so we can see how heavy this bike feels without any pedal assist or throttle action. And I can tell you, since this is a 53-pound bike, it is manageable. It actually feels really nice, especially in combination with this gear set. It's an 8-speed by Shimano. The derailleur is a Serra. So a little bit higher than their entry level. Very smooth so far. And this is really easy to pedal without any motor input. And I'm pretty happy about that. Considering this is a commuter style e-bike, if I ever want to put this on the back of my rack, hopefully that'll be nice and easy for me, being 53 pounds, but still pretty full featured. So let's move up into the pedal assist modes and start doing some of the testing there. Press this up button here. First pedal assist mode, very smooth with the motor engaging. And again, this is a torque sensor, so if I push harder, it's gonna give me more power. And I am a huge fan of torque sensors just because it still feels like I'm riding a bike, so it's very natural, but I get to control, when I'm pedaling, that power delivery. And so if I push a little bit harder, I can get up to speed. As you can see, I'm in the first pedal assist mode and I'm able to get up to about 15 miles per hour, which is really great. Without any effort, really. Watch out, little lizard. All right, I'm gonna shift up a little bit, see if I can get a little bit quicker than 15. There we go, we're up to 16, past 17. Looks like my pedal assist in the first mode is gonna let me get up pretty high in the speed. I'm at 19 miles per hour. I do feel resistance in my legs, as you would with this setup with a torque sensor and a nice 8-speed shifter. Only clear around this corner and I'll get up to that second level of pedal assist. Push down a little harder. It's giving me definitely more power. It's a very smooth transition. The power delivery is so nice on this bike in comparison to the other Aventon bikes, which aren't bad, but man, they really smoothed it out with this torque sensor. Really easy for me to get up to speed. And I can hit about 20 miles per hour in the second pedal assist. Let's move up to the third. And I'm pushing harder on the torque sensor here, but it's not really giving me more power in the third level. Let's try the fourth. "23, 24. I can move my shifting up. And fifth pedal assist. Really great power out of this. I'm very impressed. Really easy to get, look at that, 29 miles per hour. So you can definitely get up to that 28 mile per hour top speed. I really love that they offer an 8-speed gear set on this, because when you get up to those higher speeds, it provides more leverage and it's more comfortable when you're pedaling and your knees and legs aren't going bonkers, moving without any resistance. I really do hope that Aventon offers a torque sensor on more of their future bikes as an option. Even if people have to pay a little bit more, I think they're just the type of brand that would be able to offer that, because they have so many different styles of bikes. And I really do feel like that's just another option that a lot of riders would like to see. Now this is handling the bumps and crevices and the boardwalk and sidewalk pretty well so far, but I want to add a little bit more comfort. Aventon offers a suspension seat post and they sent me one, so I'm going to install that now. Then let's see how it rides. Aventon has so many accessories on their website, and that's one of the reasons I really like their brand, is because it's like a one-stop shop. So you can order everything that you need on their website, to either put a rack on, to put a basket on the front, get a bell, to get a suspension seat post. I already knew this saddle was really comfortable, but the addition of the suspension seat post with 25 millimeters of travel is making it really comfortable. And if you're using this as a commuter style bike and you're really traveling to work every day, it might be worth the investment. I think it's just over $100 for this, but it really smooths out the ride. All right, so now since I've gone through the pedal assist modes, let's try out the throttle. It's a thumb throttle on my left side. It is the same as the other Aventon bikes where it has a little bit of a texture on it, but it is plastic. So let's give it a go, see how smooth it is. Very gradual. Takes a little bit to get up to that 20 miles per hour top speed. You'll see I hit a little over that at first, but then the motor drops it down so that I'm staying about 20 miles per hour. So really smooth, responsive enough, but not too much to where it feels, you know, jumpy or scary, especially for people who, you know, might be older riders or just getting into an e-bike. Great response out of the throttle though. I would like to see, I'm noticing on a lot of other e-bikes that they're putting this like rubberized material on the throttle, and I think that would be a great addition if Aventon added that, just so that when you're using it, if you go over any kind of bump or anything like that, your hand doesn't like slip off of it because it's a slippery plastic material. As far as riding position goes, I am leaning forward a little bit, and I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on the grips. These are actually really comfortable grips as far as the materials go. It is rubberized, which I like, and it has quite a bit of texture on them. And it has a little bit extra cushion on the part where your palms are sitting. I do tend to like the paddle shape a little bit wider on the end, just so it alleviates some of that pressure on the pads of my hands when I'm riding in this type of a position, kind of leaning forward a little bit. It would be kind of neat to see, since this is a commuter style bike, a more cruiser style handlebar option, potentially, so that I could sit a little bit more upright. But it's actually not too bad. So far, I'm really enjoying the performance of this torque sensor. It's very smooth, very natural. I hope they end up offering this as an option on their other bikes, because I feel like the efficiency and the responsive nature and very smooth ride are great attributes, and customers will probably want to be able to opt for it once they experience it. And if you do want just power on demand, then you can just use the throttle. These are Tektro hydraulic brakes with really big rotors, 180 millimeters, which is great because if you have speeds of up to 28 miles per hour, you definitely want to have great stopping power. So let's test it out. Skidding quite a bit, but wow, that's great stopping power. It brought me to a stop really quick. These tires are nice and wide, so I feel very stable on them. They're a really smooth finish on this because, you know, you want to be efficient if you're on a commuter bike. Overall, I'll have to say that I'm very pleased with the performance of this bike. And, you know, with my other reviews of the Aventon bikes, I always thought that the cadence sensors were not responsive enough. They were kind of delayed. And this really solves the problem. Like, honestly, this is a very high quality bike. I love the way it looks and I love the way it performs. But let's head back so I can talk about my final thoughts and share the rest of the things that I like and the things I like to see improved. Now, I've been riding around all day on the Aventon Level 2, so it's time to share my thoughts on what I like about this bike and the things I'd like to see improve. Let's start off with the things that I like. Number one is I'm very happy that they chose to go with the torque sensor because this basically solves the problem that I had talked about in my previous reviews where the cadence sensor was really delayed. The performance out of this is excellent, and combined with that 500 watt motor that gives you 750 watts peak, I think it's a great blend of power and efficiency. I really appreciate that the fenders, the integrated lights, and the rear rack are included on the Level 2. You don't have to pay extra for them, and I think every bike in this category should definitely have those standard when you buy them. As far as the display and app integration goes, nobody does it better in my opinion. While I'm riding, it's clear and bright readouts, and as far as the app goes, it has some community and tracking features that I really appreciate, but I cover this in another video and you can check that out here to learn more. As far as the build quality goes, this frame has very blended welds. The paint finish is sparkly and beautiful. It's a pretty comfortable riding position. High power hydraulic brakes that are just very impressive. This is a comfortable bike, and if you can afford it, then I would definitely recommend getting the suspension seat post as well. But there's always room for improvement, so let's talk about some of those opportunities here. First, I would like to see the first pedal assist mode toned down a little bit. I feel like I get a little bit too much power, and if I just want the first mode of assist, I want it to kind of ease in. So that's one. Number two is the grips. Although these aren't bad at all, they actually are pretty comfortable. I tend to prefer one that has a wider paddle shape at the end to make it even more comfortable for longer commutes. Lastly, this bike is normally priced at $1949, and that's an okay price. It is a premium bike, but for the rest of the year, this is on sale for $17.99, and I think that's a fair price. I've actually recommended this to some family members, and they've purchased it at that price. One of the things I really appreciate about the Aventon brand is they have a ton of accessories to choose from on their website when you're ordering your bike, so it really becomes a one-stop shop when you're buying. Now, I got the suspension seat post, but I also got a basket to mount on the front of the bike that is particularly suited for pets. I took out my dog Liz and she absolutely loved it. I really appreciated the feature of having a little hood over it as well so that she could really enjoy but stay safe inside the basket. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this latest review on the Aventon Level 2. If you're interested in learning more or wanting to purchase one of these bikes, please consider using the link below. Aventon might help support the Miss GoElectric channel if they find we're helping their customers find the right bike for them. Well, until next time, drive, fly, ride. Go electric.